So what next for Reggae Boy Michail Antonio? Injury, major crash, December. Apparently, according to the doctor's report, should regain full fitness after, or should I say, between 6 to 12 months. I haven't hit 12 months as yet. We're in the 5 to 6 months category. And tentatively, reports are that is looking to come back on the pitch quite soon. So, welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again. Really appreciate the support. Continue to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're seeing it for the first time. But really appreciate it. If you're having issues receiving the notifications, all you have to do is unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and everything will be good. Turn on the bell for the notifications so you get all the latest updates. All right, so we're gonna have discussions surrounding Michail. This one. I'm trying my best not to make it as too long as possible. But there are some very important details that we should discuss surrounding Michail. So most of you guys would have already known that Michail Antonio met in an accident in last year, December, and technically is en route to recovery. Now, about 2 weeks or so, or 2 to 3 weeks or so, he came back and went back to the stadium, to the facilities, meet the crowd, meet the supporters, spoke with the coach, just to familiarize himself back into the environment. Now, I'm going to read an article. This article basically speaking about Graham Potter's announcement on Michail Antonio's return. But that's a part of the discussion I want to have. Also, what does his future have in store for him in football? Very important. So let's get to what the coach is saying. Then we're going to go speak about his future at this present moment. All right. So Michail Antonio, so West Ham boss Graham Potter hopes Michail Antonio will return to training soon, but was unable to offer any assurance about a new contract for the striker. But that is the contract situation is something that is very crucial. We will touch on that in more detail on other aspect of the video with regards to what next for Michail Antonio. Antonio is continuing his recovery away from the club after a car crash in December, which left him with a badly broken femur. 35-year-old West Ham record Premier League goal scorer is determined to resume his career when he is fit, but he will be out of the contract at the end of the season. Graham Potter offered no assurance on Michail Antonio's long-term future. He's progressing step by step, away from us at the moment, just training, but he's due back soon. Important, he's due back soon. Remember, the doctor's report stated that full recovery is between 6 to 12 months. Full recovery. Then he can touch on the pitch. And he won't be able to be match fit even during that time period. Going to touch on that. We are happy with how he's going, and we're supporting him, and it's going well. Any contract discussion will remain, as you expect, between the club and the player. Not for me to comment on what we have got something. All right, so that moves away. Let's move away from that. So generally, that's just coach speaking about Michail Antonio will be returning soon, and he's not training with them right now. So he's in the recovery process, and as I stated earlier, full recovery between 6 to 12 months. Now, let's say sports science has now been so advanced, so even the initial assessment, which should have been 6 to 12 months full recovery, can probably break down now to 4 to 5 months. Then can touch on pitch, like start training on grass and such forth. Here where things get very interesting. Now, I'm gonna ask a question. First question I'm gonna ask: one, if Michail Antonio return before the season ends, what good does that do? Will he put himself at risk to aggravate the injury, or need to get himself seen, still has the levels to play at that level, a mid contract situation. Now, with the remarks stating that he'll be back soon, generally, that's a bit surprising. That's the reason why I just asked that question. Is that returning soon just for him to allow the people to see him before break of the season, which allows maybe contract negotiation between either him and the club or him and a different team? Because if another team don't see Michail Antonio, it may become a bit complex in the summer transfer window. What does he have to offer? Remember, 35 years old. Possibilities may be he'll be looking for his last contract. What contract can you offer him if you are unsure? You can provide that. Now, I want you to listen to these people, all right? There's two sides to look at this, where the Michail Antonio's contract is. Two sides. One side is moral standpoint, whereas he is a club legend, leading goal scorer in the Premier League for the club. Been at the club for a long time. Affiliations, all of these things, the intangibles surrounding Michail Antonio and West Ham. Remember, as I stated, this possibly could be his last contract. Now, here the aspect of it is the moral standpoint. They could say, we're going to offer you 1 year contract. And this 1 year contract is for you to get proper recovery. And if, in the event, you are fully capable of providing at least another 2 years, another 2 seasons of the levels that you were before on the pitch, we might consider during that 1 year time extended contract, we might consider give you another year or two. We might consider. So that's just the moral standpoint, because he's a legend of the club, such and such. Just to get him back on his feet, then allow him to continue. But that might come with some other issues. Maybe a cut in wages, because if he's not going to be playing, maybe they might not want to offer him that much wages during that time period, and he's not playing. Now, will Michail Antonio be okay or comfortable with a cut wage, especially unknown to the nature of the wage cut? So that in itself is a moral standpoint. Now, let's have a look at the business standpoint where the club is concerned. One, yes, he's a legend of the club. Yes, he's the club's all-time Premier League goal scorer. But one, you have to remember, during that time period, he was paid to do all of those things. He works for the club. Now, what sense would it make for the club put him on a contract, even if it's the same contract as a no, where wages are concerned? How would that benefit the club? That's the reason I get the moral standpoint out of the way now. What other ways would it benefit the club to see their wage bill going down or being consumed heavily by a player that is not playing and potentially won't be playing anytime soon? So that in itself is a huge risk by the club. Also, what if the club did not or weren't considering re-signing the player, giving him a new contract, because, quote unquote, he will be 35 years old in summer? On what length or duration contract would you give a 35-year-old? Now, let's say the injuries didn't happen. Let's think about it that way. Would the club have gone on to give him a contract at 35? For how long? Or maybe the club will be looking to moving on from him at that standpoint. So these are the business aspect of stuff. These are the business aspect of football and the business decision clubs have to take. Now, Other than the moral standpoint where it not gonna look good for let go of a player, especially in a situation like that, and a loyal servant to the club, all these things. On a moral standpoint, it won't look good. From a business standpoint, the club has a decision to make where it affects the business aspect of the club. And possible they won't have Europe. Possible they won't have Europe. So how would they go about handling that? Now, as I said, it's a very, very interesting aspect of it because remember, Michail Antonio don't return for before the season end, and the club decide that they won't renegotiate contract dealings with him. Makes it now difficult for him to get another contract with the next club because one, 35 years old. Two, any club that is coming in to bid for him will be uncertain of the condition that he'll be in. Possible they might have to do trials to see what he can offer or if he's at the same level. So maybe, just maybe, for Michail Antonio, this transfer this summer period is going to be one of the most important period of his career. Well, that's if he decided that he want to continue in football. That's the case. But interestingly enough, we'll see how this one materialize. Smash the like button. Tell me what you think in the comment section about this entirety surrounding Michail Antonio, about this decision. If you let us know, if you are the club, give me the standpoint that you will take. Will you go on and take a moral standpoint, or will you approach it on a business level? 35 years old, he's out of the game for a long time. There's no guarantee that he may return at that level that is required to play in the Premier League. So give us in the comment section moral standpoint that you will take and also the business standpoint you will take. Let us know what you think. And remember, this in itself will affect Reggae Boyz team in general. We might not see him for the Gold Cup. Well, that is for a next video. I'll just have the discussion in the next video. So smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me what you think in the comment section, people. Very, very important topic. See you guys again. MG Sports out. God bless. Boom. Let me know in the comment section, people. I'm really, really interested in this one. Would you take a moral standpoint or would you take a business standpoint if you were the club?